Hello everyone, Jeff the Green over here. Selecting trees can be a daunting task for people. Take an objective look at the tree in the nursery. The trunk should be free of scrapes or cracks. You may have to remove the wrapping to be sure. A single straight trunk is preferred. If it has more than one trunk, can it be pruned to an acceptable form without losing much of its shape? If the tree is grafted, the graft union should not be crooked. The crown selection of a tree is the part that has the branches. On a deciduous tree, it should be more than half of the total tree height, and it should be at least 75% on evergreen trees. The trunk should not move independently of the root ball. If it is in a container or is a balled and burlap, the trunk should be in the center. The root flare should be visible and not be covered with soil in the container or under the burlap. Trees in the summer should be fully leafed out and should not be showing signs of stress from lack of water, insects, or disease. If it's a multiple trunk tree or shrub, are the trunks far enough apart to not grow together in the future? It may be better to buy several single trunk plants and arrange them in a multiple trunk appearance. Plant the trunks far enough apart that each one can grow to a full size without contacting another trunk. Do not plant several trees in the same hole because they won't be far enough apart. Dead stuff decays, and if the trunks are too close together, the dead bark tissue will be touching, where it'll decay and hollow out the trunks. Check the root ball or the pot to see how the multiple trunks are growing. Are they come up from multiple locations or just leaning away from one location? Is there a dead stump in the middle with suckers coming off the decaying trunk? The trees in these photos should never have been prepared for sale. This tree's shoots are coming off a dead, decaying stump and they're too close together. This tree has many trunks that need to be pruned out. Plus, it has a weird horizontal branch with a vertical trunk growing on the end that should have been removed long before now. The four trunks on this tree are growing together to about 8 feet high. Dead stuff decays, the bark is beginning to rot out in the lower couple feet of the tree trunk at the base. This tree is now a hazard and will need to be removed before it splits and falls apart. So what's this mean to me? Multiple trunks on a tree look pretty, but if they're too close together, they often become hazards. Dead stuff decays and the interior space between the trunks stays too wet, allowing decay organisms easy access to the tree trunks. When buying a tree, you have a choice of spending time or money. You can buy a small tree and wait for it to grow, or you can buy an expensive, large tree and get an instant effect in the landscape. I've helped plant large trees that need a crane to move them. They're very difficult to plant. Large trees have large root balls that are very heavy and require large holes. They're often secured in large wooden boxes that have hooks for chains and straps that all need to be removed. Is it worth your money to plant a large tree? There is some research that may help you decide. As we've mentioned before, there's a balance between the roots and the shoots of all plants. Digging up a tree prunes off many roots and damages many of the rest. After transplanting, the tree must grow a new root system. A smaller tree with a smaller root system can grow back into balance faster than a large tree that has to replace a large root system. In experiments, a variety of trees that were 4 inches and 10 inches in diameter, measured at about 5 feet off the ground, were transplanted. At the end of 12 years, both groups of trees were 14 inches in diameter. The smaller trees had replaced their root systems in 4 to 5 years and had begun normal top growth at that point. The larger trees grew slowly and didn't finish replacing their root system until 11 or 12 years. The root to shoot balance must be restored before the top can resume vigorous growth. So what's this mean to me? For every inch in diameter the trunk is at a few feet above the ground, the tree will take 12 to 18 months to recover its root to shoot balance after being transplanted. Large trees make an instant impact in the landscape, while smaller trees recover faster and may outgrow the larger tree in a few years. And this is Jeff for the Green Review. Thanks for watching.